Hey climbers, Brent here. Are you ready to write your best songs ever? Are you ready to take that next step in your songwriting journey? Well, I want to help you with that. Listening to the C.L.I.M.B podcast is a great way to get started on your songwriting journey and to learn the basics about the art, the craft, and the business of songwriting. But eventually, you're probably going to need the personal touch. You're probably going to need some one-on-one feedback, some advice, and some help reaching your songwriting goals. And that's what I want to help do for you. I want to help you write your best songs ever. And I want to help you learn the art, the craft, and the business of songwriting, of how to turn pro in your mind and in your behavior before you ever turn pro on paper. Before you ever have the awards to hang on the wall, I want to give you the mindsets and the skills to earn that stuff. And so we'll dive into your questions and I'll give you honest answers. And I can help repair your song if it's already written but has a couple bugs and has some opportunities to get better. Or we can help prepare your song if you have an idea, a notion, a title. We can do your own private song title challenge if you want. If you want to get ready for a co-write, if you have a meeting coming up and you want to get your stuff locked down where it's the best it can be, I'm happy to help you do that as well. You can see my calendar, get all the details, and actually book a session at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That is songwritingpro.com/coaching. Now, if you're still not sure if a coaching session with me is the right thing for you, let's listen to what this climber had to say about their session.
Having been around musicians and songwriters a lot of my life, I always wondered why some made it and others didn't, and it never really made sense. Like there was a glass ceiling or magic formula, or you had to live in Nashville to even have a shot. But after coaching with Brent Baxter, I've come to understand that it's just like anything else in life worth having. It takes an education, knowing people, practice, and then more education and relationships. I didn't really have a clue how much knowledge and intention that it took until I was in the room with him, a man that made his living and fed his family with the knowledge that he has. There's a lot of naturally talented songwriters out there, but at some point, even the greats have to learn new skills and new ropes to stay relevant. I've had so many roadblocks and awe moments released from Brent that I've lost count. His simple observations have solved many of my complex problems, and he's made suggestions that have changed my entire direction on certain songs and pulled me up higher. Sometimes I cringe at the money I've spent on demos. If I had half the money I had spent on demos and put it toward my education, I'd have a lot less worthless demos. He's explained things to me in 5 minutes that really could have made all the difference that entire time.
Song Title Challenge.
All right, guys, welcome to another Song Title Challenge. This is where climbers, that is the listeners of the podcast, send in their song titles to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. Put Song Title Challenge in the subject line, and I save them, and I spring the song titles live to Brent on the air. And what we do is mimic what happens in the first 15 minutes of a pro write, where we've got a song title we think we're going to run with, but let's see if we can't spend just 15 minutes working around and find other conceptual angles about what the lyrics would be about before we start actually writing the lyrics. And sometimes the first thing you do is the best thing, but oftentimes, I think more often than not, the first thing is the most obvious thing, and you find something really clever and really smart.
Yep.
The third or fourth go around there. We just kind of go back and forth and riff off of this. And by all means, if we do something on the show on the Song Title Challenge and we didn't cover something that you thought of when you were listening to this, then write it down and post it in the C.L.I.M.B community and let people know. We'd love to hear about it.
That's right. Let us hear about it.
It's not a co-write in any way, shape, or form. This is just a fun, creative exercise for those of you who are new to the program. And use all of it, use none of it. The only thing we request in return is an invitation to the number one party, right?
Amen. You know, it's funny. I go back and I listen to all these when they drop because we may record this 2 weeks out or something. So I have time to kind of forget about it because, again, no prep. And so It's like we talk about it for this 15, 20 minutes, then we're done. We don't talk about the title again. And I'm listening through. I kind of start playing along, going, oh, you know, there's this idea.
I do the same thing too, dude.
We talked about, oh, yes, we talked about it. like going, oh, here's an angle. Did I?
It's just the way I thought about it. Okay. Because you're kind of subconsciously remembering it.
Okay,
but you're not consciously remembering it.
I thought about it then too. Yeah, exactly. probably the same
But it's
reason I
good,
tell
and
the same stories.
And I think the power of this, like, I want to point this out one more time. The power of this is that from somebody like you, pro songwriter, you got like 4,700 hooks in your hook book, and you went back and did this yourself. And all of a sudden, some old titles that maybe just the lettuce had wilted, the bloom had come off the rose. It just looks tired to you because it's not new, it's not fresh. And you went in and dug in on some of those, and all of a sudden it just refreshed everything and brought them up to the top of your excited list, and you were bringing them into co-writing.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's a really, I think this is a really good exercise. You should do it on every write. But if you're having one of those weeks where you're just not feeling any inspiration or whatever, go back and dig into some of the old stuff and do this for 15 minutes a song. If you do it, spend an hour doing that, you're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just at a time for like 10, 15 minutes. And there's something about that energy of having the clock. You're like, I'm just going to dive in. It doesn't matter because that's right. Whatever, 10, 15 minutes. And if I don't get anything, 10, 15 minutes. I flex my muscles a little bit. I did some reps. Oh, but if I find that one.
There you go. All right. So are you ready, sir?
Never, but that's never stopped us before.
So we have done a title from this gentleman before. It's Mr. Mike Parker is our climber that submitted. He submitted a bunch of titles. By the way, you can submit as many titles as you'd like. And the title is Too Dumb to Run. Too Dumb to Run.
Too Dumb to Run. All right. I'm just writing this down so I can see it. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Mike's a member of the Songwriting Pro community, the membership there, and he's a good writer. Good writer. I know he had a song on the last Play for Publisher we did. He had a song in the on hold section of that.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good writer. So anyway, Too Dumb to Run. The first thing I think of is, since we mentioned in the last episode, which we just recorded, politics a little bit, I'm thinking a political, satire song called Apparently There's No Such Thing as Too Dumb to Run.
I hadn't even thought about it like that. Wow, every day.
For office. Apparently, there's no such thing as too dumb to run.
Yeah, that's it.
So there could be that, Mr. Parker, if you're so inclined to do a politically satirical thing for the election coming up. So there's that. So, I'm a country hammer, so most things look like country nail to me, or, Southern gospel or CCM, or kind of, mainly where at bluegrass, where I hang out a lot. So Too Dumb to Run. Okay, well, let's just dive into this. And this is all just off the top of my head. It could be that thing of, you're telling that story about, shoot, I was 15 and we're sneaking a beer behind so-and-so's barn or whatever. And then, the old man comes out, the farmer or whatever. And it's like, you boys. And my buddies took off. I was just too dumb to run. I was like deer in the headlight. I didn't go anywhere. And I stayed and I took the consequences and whatever, and that kind of stuff. And you tell another story of something like that, but it's like,
oh, that's interesting.
I was too dumb to run. But now you're like, girl, I know times get hard with us, but if there's one thing I've proven, I'm too dumb to run. I'm going to stick this out. We're going to make it work. You turn it to like a positive thing about,
that's so good. So like every time you were too dumb to run, you had a life lesson that you learned.
Lesson learned. And And
then now you know that it's okay. And you're applying that sort of, I guess, confidence that you have in being too dumb to run to the relationship that might be under some strain.
Under some strain, kind of on the rocks kind of thing. I'm too dumb to run. We're going to work this out. It may go against my better judgment, but, I think we still got a lot of gas in the tank. Let's, I'm too dumb to run.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving you. Yeah. So if you can kind of play it that kind of way about, making a positive love thing. Flip side of it is that girl you shouldn't be with, but you're just too hot to leave and you're too dumb to run, or something like that. Too drunk to drive and too dumb to run.
There's a couple things you could link up in there. Sure.
Like, she's too lonely to leave and I'm too dumb to run. Like, this is not going to go well. That's going to go well, but then it's not going to end well.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
I like that, too drunk to drive and too dumb to run. Like something goes at a party where things go, south and everyone's bailing. You're like, I'm too drunk to drive and too dumb to run.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me. But, too lonely to.
So I got an idea. Yeah. Like if you sort of tell some clever stories of your typical kind of too dumb to run, always stand up in a fight and never sort of turn the other cheek, the opposite of that Kenny Rogers song, Coward of the County. Yeah. No, Coward of the County.
Yeah.
So you're always just mixing it up because you're too dumb to run. You're too dumb to, understand that discretion is a better part of valor or whatever. But then it's kind of like a big bad Bill of Sweet William Now situation where, he meets the girl. Mm-hmm. And now this is one of them situations where it was good that I was too dumb.
Yeah, because he didn't run out on the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he
maybe
wasn't.
it is, the looking back thing is got in trouble, was too dumb to run, or got in a fight, too dumb to run. Good thing, we stuck it out too, even through the hard
Right.
times and the fight and sticking it out.
Thank God I was too dumb to run on this. Yeah.
Yeah. All that stubborn, that stubborn streak, worked out for
stubborn.
once.
That's the
all
word
that
I was
stubborn
looking
streak worked out for once. Thank God I was too dumb to run.
at.
So
There you go.
that could be something too, kind of telling the story about the time you wouldn't back down and from the bully, and you got your nose bloodied up, but you're too dumb to run, and couldn't breathe out of my left nostril for a month, but I was too dumb to run. Yeah, and then some other instance of that, then with the girl, and just like us. Just like us, both too dumb to run or something. It'd be interesting if you make it an us thing, because it's kind of one thing about, too dumb to run. Is it all on her? Like you should have run from her, or if if it's us, we're too dumb to run. Like, we
from love,
or from each other, because we clash and we fight and we get mucked up or whatever. But thank God we're too dumb to run, from each other, because neither of us are easy street. Neither of us are perfect, and we both have our edges and are stubborn as it comes.
There you go.
But it works out because we're both too dumb to run. We almost stayed just to fight, just to see it through, because I'm not giving her the satisfaction of leaving.
See, that would be good.
I'm not quitting. No, you walking away. I'm not quitting.
That would be a good way to put it. Like you take all that stubborn language, and you make it sound like it's like really affronting and like really aggressive, but really it's just like what the thing going on in your head when she's got the better of it. You're like, don't tell me what condescend me, man. Like, you're lucky I'm too dumb to run.
Exactly.
Like what? Like think about, go down that road for a second. So like one of the coolest songs ever written, one of the greatest lyrics ever written, gave you that straight up, made the hair stand on my arm, was Hold My Hand. It was Brandy Clark.
Brandy Clark, yeah.
The whole thing, the lyric is just about what goes on inside a woman's head.
Yeah.
What she's thinking and how she's reacting to different situations with this guy, where this girl comes up and she's describing the girl and the dress that she's wearing, and she could steal almost anybody's man. So now would be a real good time to hold my hand. Yeah. But you're inside the mind of a woman, and it's like, if you're not a woman, this is like, what? Really? Wow. Yeah. I never thought about it like that, So to do something like that, like funny style, right? With that, but on that thing where like maybe after an argument or something, which is all the stubborn stuff that goes through his head, but it's all inside the guy, the stupid, stubborn crap that we tell ourselves. Like, and then it's like, but at the end of the day, let's, she's the one. I'm too dumb to run, She does this and she does that, and it takes too long to get ready to go out, and she can't make up her mind for what she wants to eat for dinner, and all those things that we can all relate to, right? Or maybe she got the best of him in an argument or a fight or something, and he's just sort of licking his wounds and internally, mentally from that. That could be interesting.
Or or the thing like she's, it's like she's changing me, and that process kind of sucks, but she's too good to leave and I'm too dumb to run. Or like she has so much grace, or we fight. She's too, she's too strong to leave and I'm too dumb to run. So we're working it out.
Yeah, like you're changing, like the transformation part of it.
She's fixing me up and it hurts. She's too good to, she's too good to leave and I'm too dumb to run. And then there's the thought too of like I've been too dumb to run, but I ain't too dumb to run to her. That kind of stuff about those times you should have run and you didn't. But I ain't too dumb to run to her.
Right.
Maybe almost like, there have been times, I've been too dumb to run at the good Lord when I should have been on my knees. And there have been times I should have run for the hills, but when that bully came through, or whatever, all this time I've been too dumb to run. But thank God I ain't too dumb to run to her. I go to my girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, make a list of like run to what, like run to the 7-Eleven, run to the.
Like all these times you've been too dumb to run from trouble or to something good that you, in retrospect, that you should have run to, that you should have, did it. But thank God I ain't too dumb to run to her, because she's she's so obvious,
Yeah.
or something like that. She's the one that kind of saves you and shows growth as the artist. And so, that dumb stuff kind of in his past, but now he's a good man. He might have been a piece of work, but at least he knows that she's my North Star.
He's starting to get wiser. Yeah.
Probably because of her. So many times I've been too dumb to run, whatever, and I end up getting hurt. Thank God I ain't too dumb to run to her. And I think that's cool. Like, yeah, okay, I'm making good decisions on her, or thank God I wasn't too dumb to run to her, whatever that is, but it's basically, hey, got positive love now, all these mistakes, but now it's the flip side of being too dumb to run, because you're not too dumb to run to her.
Is there a way you can juxtapose like smart on her?
She's too smart to stay and I'm too dumb to run, which is interesting. Why is she leaving? You're staying? Which could be, which is funny because, remind me one time, Christmas break, we were heading to Arkansas or Missouri or something from Nashville. And we're swimming. Anthony just got a new record in, probably one he worked with you on, our buddy Anthony Oreo. And so we're going to swing by his house out in the sticks on the way out of town and grab a couple of those CDs. So we could listen to him on the road and get him for Christmas and stuff. And anyway, we pulled up to his house and the garage door was up and the lights were on. And Anthony and Natalie were not home. They were back up in PA. So their house has been broken into as we pull up. Yeah.
Really?
They had been broken into. Lights are on. Nobody's home. Doors open. And I'm like, okay. And that was the thing where I was about to get out and check on it. And he was like, get back in leave. So she was too smart to stay and I was too dumb to run at that moment. And so we wheel out of there and I called the cops, and they show up. Then we come pulling up to check on stuff. And so sure enough, somebody gone through their house and stolen some stuff. And we probably interrupted them. You're welcome, Anthony. Anyway.
Oh my land. Dude. Okay. So you could do like a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
She was like
this whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, situations like that where it's like, and she was too smart to stay and I was too dumb to run.
Yeah. It could be the big story thing. I mean, there's that Ricky Van Shelton, he had Crime of Passion, and you had the Travis Tritt thing. It's a long way to Richmond, head north on 95, modern day Bonnie and Clyde. Some of those kind of stories. You could do one of those about, she was too smart to stay and I was too dumb to run. So that could be kind of cool. It's going to be an intricate kind of thing to work out on how that kind of works into each one of those stories. But you could go
like a little wilder there, like with and sort of glorify like this love relationship, in the sense that, whatever trouble the youth find themselves in, you can speak to that. And they're always getting away clean because she's too smart to stay and I'm too dumb to run.
or flip it, I'm too dumb to run, thank God, but she's too smart to stay. She dragged him out of there.
Yeah.
So it's like I was too dumb to run. I was da-da-da-da-da, stubborn and da-da-da-da-da-da, and art, I was too dumb to run. Thank God she's too smart to stay. Like she drug you out of that.
Yeah, grabbed you by the ear and pulled you right out.
You almost book in the course. Like, I was too dumb to run. I was this, I was that. I was A. Yeah, I was too dumb to run, but she was too smart to stay.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
That way, it almost bookends the chorus, but it gives you that kicker line after
with
that.
With the stay. It's not the boring, predictable rhyme. Yeah,
exactly. He's not ending on just I was too dumb to run. But the kicker is, well, she was too smart to stay, so she drug my butt out of there. And that's what saved the day, or maybe that's what saved the day. I was too dumb to run. Thank God she was too smart to stay.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that could be the thing about all the time that she got you out of trouble.
There you go.
Dragging me out of the bar, when there's going to be trouble, or whatever it might be.
When there's going to be, you talk to the wrong girl in the bar.
Yeah.
And not because you're like, you just bumped into the wrong girl or some dude bows up,
Yeah.
And you got to do that.
I got to bow up now too. No, you don't.
Yeah. No, I'm going to end it. It's like, because I'm too dumb to run.
Exactly.
It's a lot of different angles on that.
Yeah. So hopefully, Mike, there's something in there I still think it's political. Too dumb to run for office is the way to go. It's election year.
So if Mike wants to work this with you privately, maybe get a title and you don't want to present it publicly and they want to do this with you privately or work on a song, what can they do?
Mike or any of y'all, I do private coaching and consulting. So you can find me at songwritingpro.com/coaching. And we can do, I do most of my stuff online. So like video conferencing, phone calls, that kind of stuff. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I have clients all over the place. Every once in a while I'll do one in Southwest Missouri or in Nashville. Most of the time it's online. So you can get all the details, see my calendar, book your own appointment at songwritingpro.com/coaching. And basically, people do private song title challenges. We can prepare your song, or we can repair your song. So if you're not sure what to do with it before it starts, we can talk about angles. If you've already written one, you want to debug it, I'm all about that as well. And also I'm there to answer your questions about the music business and give you some advice and answer some questions for you. So it's a good time.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. Once again, if you've got titles for Song Title Challenge, we always need them. Send them to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. And put Song Title Challenge in the subject line so it gets in the right folder. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Song Title Challenge.